question regarding organ transplants. Many years ago, or maybe 30 years ago, it was not an accepted thing by halachic standards to go ahead and transplant. If we went and do it, a person was told, you have to bury all the organs with the body. Today, we take the organs we can salvage and we can pass them on. I read it somewhere in a sefer, in the esoteric level, that when a neshama leaves the world, they answer, a part of me is still here. I can't rest until that part of me has been rested. What is halacha doing with this particular machloket, which seems to be unclear in our time?
There's really nothing unclear about the halacha. When a person is dead, he can't do any mitzvahs anymore. There's only one mitzvah he can do yet. He can save someone's life. And therefore, he's required to do that mitzvah. Not he may do, he must do. It's obligatory. If a person is really dead, and we're dealing basically only with kidney transplant or corneal transplant. The others require a brain-dead patient. For liver, so-called vital organs, liver, heart, lungs, you can only deal with a brain-dead patient. But once the heart stops, the organs deteriorate too rapidly. Kidney can still be used several hours after the patient dies. For a family to refuse to give permission for a kidney transplant to someone else whose life depends upon it, or a corneal transplant, the Talmud says that blindness and death are tantamount to each other. And therefore, you're allowed to give a cornea to someone else too. We don't give, like the non-Jews, or permit bone transplants for cosmetic reasons and so on. We don't deal only with life-saving situations. And therefore, it's not only permitted, it's a mitzvah. It's the chiyuv of osam al adam re'echa, to save someone's life by giving an organ transplant when the burden doesn't exist on the donor. There's no burden on the donor. To give a live kidney transplant, you've got to be a tzaddik. You have to be a wonderful person who's willing to suffer surgery, etc., in order to save someone's life. Therefore, it's not obligatory. It's merely commended. It's commendable activity. But after death, it's an obligatory requirement.
We have another question here.
Ariel Sharon is lying in a bed somewhere in Israel, and he's being kept alive by machinery. He could probably be, if they do nothing, if nothing happens, he could probably be the oldest man ever to live, if they do nothing. Is there any such thing as a time period, or at some particular time when they can say, it's time now?
No, but there's a practical aspect to your question. The real world doesn't work that way. This fellow who's being kept alive, I assure you, there are 10, 20 times during the year where they have to do something to keep him alive. The blood pressure is dropping, they got to raise the blood pressure. Right? He runs down, he comes down with some kind of infection, they have to treat him with antibiotics, etc. There's where the decision-making comes in. You can't do anything to stop his life force by taking off the oxygen or the water or nutrition. But I need not respond to a new demand for medical care. That's a decision that can be made. It requires a careful evaluation in the doctor or the rabbi what should be done. But again, they are dealing with not introducing new therapy, not initiating new therapy. That is possible to do. It's possible to evaluate on that basis. But as far as his being the oldest man alive and keep him going, not a bad idea. This is a special schus that this man must have, that God allows him to remain alive that long.
When a person is so ill that the actions of someone can stop them from dying, when do we say that is the situation we're in and we shouldn't stop them from dying?
Where's a situation where we will allow him to die?
Yes.
I thought I laid the basis for that. One, the key one is his definition of his quality of life. Okay? Next, how you define futility. This Rachamim, Professor Malamed, right? He's perfectly happy with his life. I'm happy. I'm sure he's not too happy. But he's happy he's not dead. Right? He's doing everything possible to stay alive. Obviously, his quality of life is acceptable to him. Next, he's done everything he can. The life shouldn't be futile. It requires a person who lived a life thoughtfully, intelligently, to be able to adjust to such a terrible situation. But again, to stop treating somebody, it has to be on the basis of the man's decision, not the doctor's decision, not the hospital, not the family, etc. And very often, you find real evidence. You ask the family, tell me, this man has been ill for a long time already. Did he ever, when he was sentient, was able to talk, did he ever say, this is not my life, I'd rather die? And very often you hear, yes, the patient says so. Then you know he's evaluated his quality of life as unacceptable. Then I know how to follow. But if he never did, then you have no right to assume that his quality of life is unacceptable.
I've known Rabbi Tendler for many years. The miracle of life is how I saw him as a youngster and how he developed to be such a great scholar in the direction of Torah and in the direction of science. Tonight we had the privilege, although we were going from one topic to another, but you see the intensity of knowledge, the intensity of sincerity of what human life is all about. And thank God, Hashem has given you the quality of life, the quality of learning, the quality of halacha, the quality of science. And I want to thank Maimonides, Barbara Gold, the entire committee for your whole series of what you're having on these evenings, where individuals become more familiar with those particular areas of life that are so important. But above all, Rabbi Tendler was giving a class in Yeshiva this morning. Got on the plane this afternoon. Spent a little bit of time just having something like a cup of coffee. Going back now because the quality of life on Shabbat is more important than getting the plane tomorrow. The quality of life is also the spirit of life, not only the body of life. And I want to thank Rabbi Tendler for giving us the strength, the ability of knowing that quality of life is not only body, but spirit as well. Thank you for your time, for your energy, for your effort, and above all, sharing your knowledge with us this evening.